Majesties, you gotta watch this. Now, I hope that you're doing all right. Thank you for coming back. And if it's your first time coming on here, I'd like to say you're welcome. Please do subscribe and join the family. So I have been hearing this for the past years, and this woman just kind of reconfirms the things that I've been hearing about scriptures in the Bible having been changed. And I feel like even up to now, things have been still taken out. You know, like these Bibles that we have from like online and everything. Sometimes when you do compare, there's just some slight differences, okay? You get my point. So I feel like they're still taking out some very cardinal information that they don't want black people to find out, or just, Christians to find out. And I feel the majority of that is black people. So anyway, in this video, she talks about what white culture is and kind of questions if it's even white culture, because in my own research, white culture cannot really be described, but it's sometimes attached to such things as, like eating a lot of vegetables, or, like taking care of oneself, or a lack of something like seasoning in food. Like, it's just, my goodness. Anyway, in 2 minutes, another 2 minutes, she has for me simplified, like the simplest of minds, simplified and put everything together, from a white supremacy to, how Christianity is now like a form of racism or colonization, and how they just changed scriptures in the Bible to just suit the European people. And when colonization came, all of a sudden they were white and there was blacks, and should I just say colored? It was all some sort of strategy. They westernized the image of Christ, and so Christ became like a white savior, and so they were likened to him like saviors. Anyway, let me roll this video and then I'm gonna be back.
White culture, if you could even call it culture, is based in racism. It was a narrative created by colonizers, like my Portuguese ancestors, in order to justify what they were doing to other people on the continent of Africa and even here in North America. And the narrative was that we white people were better than all other races. And they did so through Christianity. They took the Bible and different scripture verses, twisted it around in order to fit the narrative of colonialism and white supremacy, and also the patriarchy. And the patriarchy is white man in power. White supremacy is white man in power. Colonialism is white man in power. And Christianity, for the most part nowadays, is white man in power. There are historical references and proof where the Catholic Church actually said to enslave an African was to save their soul. The kidnapped and enslaved Africans that were here in North America were preached different scripture verses than were actually in the Bible. And that's why they weren't allowed to read. Because if they could read, then they could see that these scripture verses were incorrect and they couldn't be controlled anymore by this white God.
Yes.
And white people, we didn't identify as white until colonialism. We identified as Portuguese or Latvian or German or Italian or French. But then colonialism came around, and then all of a sudden we became white and we were superior because we were the chosen race by God, and the scripture verses proved it. And we had to go into other people's lands and preach the gospel when really it was all a ruse. It was all an excuse to go in and rape and pillage the land and the people and the cultures. So when I say that white culture is based in racism,
It is.
it's based in racism. Christianity was the Trojan horse of white supremacy and colonialism. And Western Christianity, as we know today, is still based within superiority.
Correct.
All Christians think that they're better than everybody else. I grew up in it. I'm very familiar with the culture.
Yes.
And it's part of the problem. There's a reason why most of Trump's supporters are Christians.
Yep.
It's because they don't even realize that the conditioning of colonialism and Christianity and the patriarchy is so deeply embedded within them and their identity that they don't even see the truth.
Yep.
Christianity is based in superiority, in white superiority, in white culture, which is all based in racism.
Yep. Have you ever heard of scriptures in the Bible getting switched or changed or removed, please do comment below. Getting replaced with something different. What about you compare something that's, for example, in an online Bible with an old King James Bible, and you just find that scripture that was there is either different or it's just no longer there. Okay? I've heard of it before, and I've had some people do make comparisons and everything, but now these same people are the ones speaking up. Okay, so I don't have doubts about it anymore. Okay, do comment below what you think. Please do subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video.